Well, hello everyone. How are you guys today? How's everyone? Awesome, awesome. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is the age of engage, and really what I want to focus on is the rise of the participant. And what we're going to be talking about is how to make you more powerful in the next, not just in the next couple days, but really how to be more engaged in your life, how to be more engaged with your teams, with your organizations, etc. I actually believe the time that we are living in is called I call it the rise of the citizen. That I see that what is happening in our world is our citizens are rising up more and more as we realize it is our responsibility to put our world back on the right track. So I believe that what we're doing here right now is saving the world. I believe that what we are in this room to do is save the world through better transportation choices, through more sustainable transportation choices. Is that what you guys think? Yeah, come on, let's hear it for that, right? Like, come on. This is a wonderful thing that we're doing here, right? This is an amazing thing. Now, before we talk about anything else, I want to talk about you guys, all right? So what is the number one reason that people come to conferences right now in 2019? What's the number one reason? What is it? Networking, yeah. Connecting is now the number one reason we come. It used to be always number 2 or 3 or 4, because learning was always the number one. But now we have the internet, we can learn at any time, anywhere. But what we can't do is connect face to face. And so what we're finding in 2019 is that we are desperately desiring more connection, more human connection. So I only have 30 minutes, which to me is like a sliver of time. So what I'm going to do is give up out of that 30 minutes, about 7 to 10, depending on how much you guys talk, to you. Because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating, for you guys, I want to create, let's go backwards, for you a time to connect with the people in this room. Now, before we do that, the people that are standing around the edges, if you guys are tired of standing, there are seats. Who's got seats next to them? Hands up. Right? So there's lots of seats, especially down near the front. So if you're tired of standing, come, move, and sit down. We're going to talk about movements in a little bit of time. But right now, what I want you to do is look at your group. And the people that are sitting in aisles back there, you guys are going to need to form your own teams. And what I would recommend is teams of 3, 4, 5, or 6, no more than that, and try no less than 3. People in tables, you guys already have your teams. And what I want you to do is I'm only going to give you like 4, 5, or 6 minutes to talk, to connect. And what I would like you to do is connect on what I consider to be the holy trinity of networking, connecting topics. You don't have to agree with me, but this is what I believe is a good way to start so that you find connection. So what's your name? Like, oh, your name's Monica. My wife's name is Monica. I hate that name. Connection, right? Right? My wife's name is not Monica. Or where are you from? I grew up in Ladner, just outside of Vancouver, and I meet someone who's from Chilliwack, and I'm like, hey, we share a smell issue, right? Connection, right? Where do you work? That's another great place to create connection. Now, I'm going to get you, so you're going to be doing those 3, but I'm going to get you to do another one, which I consider a way of stirring the pot and getting to the real goods. And the thing that I want you to talk about, the 4th thing, is what do you do on a daily or weekly basis to fill the hole in your soul? Yeah, that's right. What do you do that if you don't do it, you don't feel like you? All right? So there's no right or wrong answer here. Right? You can say, I go for walks, I play the piano, I hang out with my kids, I get away from my kids, whatever it happens to be for you. All right? We just want a little snapshot into what makes you you. Now, normally, with groups of tables of like 8 to 10, I would normally give 10, 15 minutes to get this done. But we don't have 10 or 15 minutes. All right? So you guys, in the next 4 to 5, I want you guys to do this. And when you're done, put up your hand so I know. The trick is the people in the aisles, in the seats that are going this way, you guys make your own teams. Any questions? You got 4 minutes, go. So this is a question that is starting to occur to more and more people around the world. What would happen if we all became just a little more engaged? Back in the 80s and 90s, engagement was a word that meant nothing. It was a feel-good term that people threw around. But in 2019, engaged has meaning. You can measure it, and now we know how much we want it. So what would happen if we just became a little more engaged? So Gallup, Harvard, trends in global employee engagement, more and more organizations are starting to look exactly at this issue. And what they found is that a 1% increase in employee engagement, staff engagement, customer engagement, community engagement, you can sub in whatever word you want. What they found, these studies, is that a 1% increase can lead to up to, what number do you think? You tell me, what number, 1% increase, will lead to how much increase in revenue? Who said 18? Hands up. 18%. Whoever, like anyone who wants a super positive person on their team, get that guy. 1% to 18. Holy cow, we'd all be looking at that. But it's not so far off. What's the number? Anyone want to guess? 15, a little too high still. The number is this. It doesn't really matter. The number they say here is up to 9%. I've seen studies that say 3, that say 4, that say 5, that say 2, that say 7. It doesn't matter. What matters is the trend. That if you put a little bit of energy into engagement, you see a multiplier back, a magnifier of your energy. The energy you put into engagement is magnified and gives you, here they're talking about revenue. But I believe that you can talk about whatever is revenue for you. So in this room, we're not talking about how much money we're making in this room. What we're talking about is how much learning we're doing, how much connection is being created. So the more you put engagement into the room, the more you start increasing the things that you find valuable. This is what Gallup is now saying. They're now saying, this is a quote from their website, nothing predicts organic growth like customer engagement. I believe in 5 or 7 years, as we study this more and more, what we're going to be saying is this. This is my prediction. Nothing predicts growth like engagement. That we are going to be figuring out more and more ways of creating engagement in our lives, in our teams, on our families, with our children, with our spouses, with our bosses, with our direct reports, that this is going to be more and more where we focus our attention because it's so powerful. So what we're going to do right now is look at what I call Roger's Rules of Engagement. We have 17 minutes to get 6 things done. Let's see if we can do it, all right? You guys with me? All right, here we go. These are ways to help you be more powerful today, be more powerful tomorrow, be more powerful when you go home. Around the things that you care the most about. The things that you care the most about. So here we go. Number 1, step up and step back. These are rules that I believe guide towards more engagement. So step up and step back means this. Hey, who in this room identifies as an introvert? Hands up. Who, like nice and proud. Yeah, that's me. I'm an introvert. I would rather write my thoughts than say them to someone, right? I would rather sit over here quietly and think my awesome thoughts rather than necessarily share them, right? So what we want to recognize is that there is power in everyone. I believe in a hive mind mentality where all of us are smarter than any of us. So this is what that means. If you're the sort of person who talks a lot, like me, be the sort of person that takes a step back, that lets other people have space to take the time that they need to say what's in their brain. Because just because they don't say it as quickly as you doesn't mean it's not valuable. I think we can all agree on that. And introverts. This means, now, I don't believe that there are real introverts or extroverts. I believe there's a joke that if you met a real introvert or real extrovert, they would either be in jail or in prison. In jail or in an insane asylum, right? That's it, one of the two. So I believe we're all ambiverts, but at different times, we have more of one or the other. So if you're feeling introverted or shy, or you're feeling like your thoughts are not valuable, this is the rule for you. Step up, step back. Rail Volution has stepped up this year by committing to making the most world-class learning and networking opportunities. And you're going to see that over the next couple days. I'm one of those things. I'm on stage because they've decided that they want to put energy into the way we interact, the way you guys learn, right? So I think you're going to start seeing some of that over the next while. Step up, step back. Next rule of engagement is, oh yeah, I like this one. Misery is optional. Yeah, what that means to me is that whatever's going on in your life, you need to take care of it, right? You're responsible for yourself, right? So if you've got a bum knee and it's really bothering you and you can't pay attention to what's happening in the room because you're thinking about your knee, get up and do what you need to do to make your knee less of a bum knee, right? If you need to go to the bathroom and that's all you can think about, go to the bathroom, right? Your misery is optional. If you need to make a call home, go make a call home so you can be back in here and be present. This rule is all about presence. The more your misery is under control, the more your presence increases, and therefore your value to what you're doing increases. The more you're distracted by other things, the more your attention is diverted, the less present you are, the less you are offering of yourself to the room. Misery is optional. Number 3, and I put these together because they're related, is movement is necessary. It's necessary. Neuroscience is now telling us that if you want to maximize your productivity and concentration and focus, you need to stand up every 20 minutes for how long? How long do you stand up for every 20 minutes to maximize your body and your energy? What is it? What is it? 5 minutes, too little. I mean, too long. What? 1 to 3 is awesome. I like how your range captures a lot. Super smart, Dan. You should have followed that advice. The answer is 2. Everything in neuroscience is 2 minutes. Whenever asked, neuroscience says do 2. I don't know why. It's always 2. 2 minutes. You stand for 2 minutes, and your concentration is improved. So, I wanted to say this first. This is my favorite quote right now. I wish my last name was anonymous. I wish I had said this. The brain can absorb only what the bum can endure. So if you're that type of person like me that you sit down for half an hour and you start getting all antsy, get up and stand off to the side. Get up and move to the back. Get up and move. Because that's your body telling you you need to move to pay attention. If you're the sort of person who needs to doodle, doodle. Do what you need. Down there. Woo! You're the smart, doodle lady is the person who had the 1 to 3 minutes. Smart twice, right? So we were meant to move. This is us. We're humans. We were given arms and legs for a reason, not so we could sit for hours in a darkened room. We were meant to move. Sitting is the new what? Smoking. Sitting is the new smoking. We're finding out that if you sit for 11 hours of uninterrupted time, you are 40% more likely to die early. Than if someone who's sitting 5 hours, up to 5 hours. So any time more than 5 hours, you got to be going, what am I doing? So everyone stand up right now, please. Right? Just stand up. Let's get some body life. Let's get some life in your body. Standing up and moving, so nice. People moving and stretching. Okay, so right now, everyone turn and look at your chair. Right now, look at your chair and say these words. What the hell are you doing to me? Right? I heard people laugh. I didn't hear people say it. Okay, so this is what we're going to do to get movement into our bodies. Because standing up is great, but when I get people to stand up, the more they're in suits, the more they stand up like this. And I'm like, move, and they're like, All right, so we're going to do something that's going to get you guys to move. And one of the ways that I love to get people moving is music. So what we're going to do is play blind karaoke. All right, so David, are you good back there? You ready? Awesome. Okay, everyone say hi to AV. Hi, AV. Yeah, we live or die with AV, right? We love those guys, those people. So what's going to happen in blind karaoke is this. So music's going to start. You're going to figure out what the song is. and then you're going to start singing, and then the music stops, and we keep singing. All right? Blind karaoke. All right? So this is a song I picked from the 60s. It was big in the 90s as well. If you don't know it, just nod along and fake it. All right? Here we go. Hit it, David. Now I'm a believer. Come on. Without a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. Ooh, I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. Do. I thought love was only true in fairy tales. Boom, boom, boom. Meant for. Okay, good. You guys are good. Good. Okay, sit down. Or stand up. If you feel like standing up, stand up. Move to the side, right? Movement is necessary. Okay, we've got 10 minutes left. I think we can do it, okay? So this next one, super important, seems really ridiculous, and it's not. Okay, this one is whenever you're in a conversation, whenever you're in a discussion, anyone is saying something and you don't understand the terminology of what they're saying. They're using acronyms or they're using a word that you haven't heard. All you do is it's like the timeout sign. You put a T, you put up a T, and it says to people, can you explain the term? So someone says, blah, 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 I work for ABC, blah, 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 and you go, what does that mean? All right? Now, the reason we do T for term is because of this, social pain. So what we're finding out between social and physical pain is that, first of all, they are felt exactly in the same part of the brain, which gives you a sign, gives you an example of how important the social world is to humans. That we feel pain exactly the same spot of the brain when physical or social pain hits us. Except when physical pain hits us, someone falls out of their chair, like Dan falls out of his chair and breaks his arm. What happens to the room when that happens? Come on, what happens? Yeah, everything changes. Everything. People move aside. They go, come on, call 911. Who knows who's a doctor? Everything changes. But let's say instead, Dan did something in a group, and then someone looked at him like, what an idiot. Like, what did you do? What that thing that you said was so stupid? Dan suddenly is going to feel, most likely, social pain. Same pain spot. The difference is when you feel social pain, blood and oxygen go to the part of your brain that manages your feelings, that manages you feeling like a total idiot. So you get blood and oxygen that goes to that part of the brain to say, hey, you've been acting like an idiot. People have been looking at you weird. You're an idiot. Stop acting like an idiot. And that part of your oxygen and blood does not go to the part of the brain that helps you be you. So what happens is that your IQ, when you feel social pain, drops 25 points. So however smart you were, you're 25 basis points dumber. So what does this mean for us in this room? It means that we want to stop as much social pain as we possibly can because it will limit the engagement power that people have. So I believe when we are engaging with other people, our job is to keep an eye on other people. And if they're starting to feel like humans feel, left out, or not part of the gang, or not with it enough to know what those cool acronyms mean, that they will start eliminating themselves from the engagement pool by feeling social pain. We want as little social pain in these rooms as possible. So if you see people who are standing alone, I believe it's up your job to go up and be a group with them. Unless they want to stand alone. Usually you can tell. They're like this and going, using a finger to tell you off, right? Right? Usually you can tell. They're like, no. Go up and make people part of the group. Being part of a group is extremely important for humans. We are social animals. Help other people or accept the help if it's you. Okay, here we go. Rule of engagement. We've got 2 more to go in 5 minutes. The more fun you have, this is my #1 rule of my life. I've built a company on this rule. I hire and fire people based on this rule. The more fun you have, the more fun they have. I believe that we should be aiming for fun in these rooms because fun gives us power. Play gives us power. Play gives us the power to do things that just a moment ago we didn't think we could do. But suddenly you play in your body and you can do almost anything. So what we want is the next 2 days. What we want is when you go home to your family or back to work with your colleagues, that this rattles around in your brain. And you think, you know, the more fun I'm having here, the more power I'm creating. Rule of engagement number 6, smile. This is so easy and something that we often don't do. So I'm going to tell you why you should be smiling. I actually use this rule as a way, I get hired as a keynote speaker and an MC to change the energy in rooms, like how to stand up in front of a group of people like you who I don't know and won't know, and how to change the energy so that they become more engaged and more powerful. So I'm going to tell you guys about this 10-5 way. And it goes like this. There's a hospital in, I think, Louisiana. It had a big 11,000 people working at the hospital. They had a real problem. They had people staying in beds too long, and they had people dying too much. Right? So staying in beds too long means it's money for the hospital, and dying too much is bad for the world, right? Is bad, right? So they had this double whammy of badness, right? They had people staying too long, and that was costing too much, and then they were dying, which was horrible. And you guys know the worst thing for a patient is to be disengaged from their recovery. The worst thing, if you ask a doctor, the worst thing that a patient could do is disengage from their recovery. So this hospital brought in a happiness expert. I don't know why they were so smart, but they did. And this happiness expert came and said, we're going to teach you a new system. It's called the 10-5 way. This is from the Ritz-Carlton, actually. The 10-5 way goes like this. Within 10 feet of anyone, someone who works there, someone who's a patient, someone who's visiting a patient, doesn't matter. Maintenance worker, doctor, doesn't matter. Everyone. Within 10 feet of those people, you smile at them. Everyone. And within 5 feet of people, you say hello. I use this to change the trajectory of conferences, to move them from hostile, I hate you, I hate the people in this room, to, wow, we actually are agreeing on things and getting things done. Because guess what? It's really hard to get things done with hostility. It's much easier to get things done with happiness, engagement, joy, and play. So what I encourage all of us to do is to take these rules of engagement and use them. Use 1, 2, or 3, whichever ones work best for you. If you're like, I always do number 4, great. Then focus on number 2, or 3, or 4, or 5. Right? This is ways for you to become more powerfully engaged in a topic that you clearly care about. This is the rise of the citizen. I just started by saying, what would happen if we all just got a little more engaged? Right? I wonder what could happen. This is a challenge I give you right now. What would happen if you got just a little more engaged for this conference? What would happen if you got just a little more engaged with your children? What would happen if you got just a little more engaged with your team at work? I believe all sorts of amazing things. Engagement is active participation. So engage in active participation. It's contagious and it's advantageous. This is what I hope for you through the next 2 days and beyond. One more thing. Let's go to here. Let's just look at this for a second because I got a minute. I think that this is really important to deal with. I'm part of all sorts of political groups where we meet and we talk about what's going on in terms of climate, in terms of voting. What I find is that more and more people are coming to those meetings because it's the rise of the citizen. But more and more of those people are coming with huge amounts of despair and overwhelm in their heart. As they look and they go, I want to make a difference, but it seems so hard. It seems we're up against so much. It seems overwhelming to even think. I believe that you fight back with the things that we just talked about, with play, because it is so powerful. Isn't it true that one of the only things that can get you out of your very worst moods is that when you suddenly find yourself playing something with someone and you go, wow, all of a sudden life seems a little easier. I can handle it a little more. Use positive energy and positive ratio. Positive ratio is the fact that we are learning that high-functioning teams, extremely high-functioning teams have a positive ratio of 6 or more to 1. So 6 positive comments to 1 negative comment. That what we're finding is that there is energy in positive. There is energy and positive. There's a quote to me that's famous that says, research shows the value of positive is that those who believe in a brighter and better future are those who take steps to create it. Those who believe that there is hope take steps to create that hope. I believe in connection, that when you are feeling overwhelmed and despair, you reach out to other people, even if they're feeling exactly the same thing, because connecting together changes. We are human, so connection changes us. And lastly, I believe engagement is the gift that keeps on giving. I believe that you put engagement into the room and you benefit that moment and every moment after. You put engagement into your family, you benefit then and every moment after. We all want our world to be better, don't we? We all want our world to provide some modicum of safety for us and our children. We are in this room to try to reach for that. I can't imagine a more important thing. Good luck to all of us.